Virginia to me was always about a story that hopefully is continually unfolding and revealing itself. So each character has his or her own journey, and I hope that that character continues to be revealed as you go through the script.
I mean, basically I would say it's a kind of a coming-of-age story of a young man and his mom.
It's really about relationships, and it's about the difference between what people present to the world and what actually goes on inside of them. So it's about duplicity, it's about the relationship between Virginia, played by Jennifer Connelly, and her son.
There's a heck of a lot wrong with Virginia. and there's a bunch of stuff about her that's just great, you know?
These are characters that they're going through interesting times in their lives, but they don't take themselves too seriously. You know, they're going through life and they're enjoying their lives, and we're really capturing it in a way that you want to pull for them, and you love them, and you love every sense about them, and they don't take themselves too seriously. You have fun with them in the process.
Well, Lance had written Milk, which is the first time I'd met him, on Virginia. I offered to help, and I thought it was a really kind of interesting story about something that was kind of like Lance's life, growing up with his mom, his Mormon mom, and dad, and and his aunt. He always said it was partly like a mixture of kind of fictionalized, but like also very close to his life.
You know, this is an incredibly personal story to me because I think, because I did, you know, grow up, a good bit of my childhood was spent with just my brothers and my mom, and until my stepdad came along, who was fantastic, but until then it was just us, and it was about us trying to, you know, make our way and figure out how do we get a piece of this American dream, how do we achieve happiness and safety, and so when I started writing this, it was always focusing on that mother-son thing, and two people who have a lot of challenges, whether it's, you know, psychological challenges or financial challenges for Emmett and Virginia. It's how they've decided to overcome them, and you know, I know we tried overcoming them. My family tried overcoming them in really untraditional ways, and you know, these two really go out on a limb.
I read it and I thought it was really beautiful. I thought it was funny and moving, and I thought it was just so beautifully written. I completely fell in love with it, and then I met with Lance. We had dinner together in New York, and we kind of said, okay, let's see if we can do this together.
I'm a huge fan of Jennifer Connelly and Ed Harris, and the fact that they're in it was a big thing that made me want to do this. And then Dustin Lance Black, he's amazing, and I loved Milk. So, and also the script itself, I really loved it. I think it's such a unique story.
I was doing a film in Townsville in Australia, which is up at the top of Queensland, and agents just said they're ready to audition. I'd read the script earlier in the year and was crazy about it. I mean, we got sent a whole heap of scripts, as you do, and this was the one that was kind of like, wow, you know, it was pretty good. So, yeah, we put the tape, and I've been, you know, thinking about the character ever since I'd read it, because I've loved it. And yeah, and then we sent the tape to the casting agent, and the casting agent sent it to Lance, and Lance liked it for some reason.
I was sent a script and asked to look at it. I knew Jennifer was involved, and the first time I worked with Jennifer was when I did Pollock a number of years ago, and I always wanted to work with her again. So anyway, that was kind of a plus, and then I met with Lance, and we had a good talk. So yeah, I said, good, sounded like an interesting character to play.
Okay, you're the boss. You tell me when, and I'll be there.
The first person cast in the film was Jennifer Connelly, and I fell in love instantly with her and thought this would be the perfect person to bring Virginia to life. And I think she knocked it out of the park. I mean, I'm in love with the character she created.
I've had a really remarkable time working on it. I think she's, she's batting against a lot of things, emotionally and mentally and physically, but I see her as someone who is always striving for goodness and to be better.
I think that the relationship that Emmett and Virginia has is, it's pretty the purest form of the mother-son relationship. That, while Emmett does sort of have the parenting role because Virginia has psychological issues, the love that they have for each other is really beautiful and real. And, it's very, when you say real, I know kids who have single mums and friends of mine, and the relationship that they have, everyone loves their mum, but that relationship's so much different to the general mother-son relationship when it's just the two of them.
It's very clear that she just loves her son. She loves her son, Emmett, with, ferocity. There are numerous scenes in which the roles are sort of reversed, and you see Emmett kind of carrying, figuratively and sometimes literally, Virginia. And in the course of the film, she has to learn to let him go, and she has to acknowledge that it's time for him to have his own life. He's always been there for her, and the ultimate act of love for her is to let him go.
For Virginia, it's a journey of becoming a parent and understanding that she's going to have to make quite a sacrifice in order to be the parent that I think she's always wanted to be, but hasn't ever really been able to be. For Emmett, it's a journey of independence, and it's a difficult one. I think it's one a lot of kids go through, especially with single parents, because you leave home and you start your own life, but when you do that, you're leaving the person you love the most and who loves you the most alone. And so for him, it's that challenge, like, how can I have my own life and not abandon the person that I care the most about in the world?
And action! 3, 2, 1. Hold your fire! Christ's sake.
I play Sheriff Tipton, who happens to be a Mormon. Although the community is not a Mormon community, there is a Mormon church there, and I have a member of the Mormon religion. I've been having an affair with the Jennifer Connelly character since she was 15 years old. Rather odd affair, but I would say a love affair.
The town's sheriff is Ed Harris, and I play his daughter. We're a nice Mormon family, and I'm growing up and kind of really seeing my parents for who they are and kind of figuring out how I feel about the way they've raised me. And I also have a very big crush on Jennifer Connelly's son in it.
It's really been a joy and a privilege to work with the cast that we've worked with, and from some really experienced greats such as, of course, Jennifer Connelly, Ed Harris, Amy Madigan, Toby Jones, who've been around a long time doing this and have mastered their trade. But it's also been fun doing local casting calls and finding people like Paul Walter Hauser and who plays Dale, and finding Harrison Gilbertson, who has a couple screen credits before this one, but really is emerging, has been acting for a couple of years, but is really finding his own right now, and so it's been fun bringing all of these people together and different levels of experience and seeing them all gel in such an amazing way.
I knew Jennifer and Ed were attached, so that was kind of, but that was, you know, just kind of on the rumoured side of it. But when we got the role and it said they were definitely doing it, and that was kind of pretty, you know, it's pretty surreal to think about the calibre of people you're working with, but they've been fantastic. I mean, they're so down to earth and just really about the art of it.
Such a lovely guy, really talented and thoughtful and caring and invested in what he's doing. Very bright and creative. I think he'll do really well.
Emma's really fun, and she was really, really befriending of me, which was great. She, you know, I mean, she's a pretty big star, I guess, at the moment, and you know, she was very accepting of all of us other actors, and totally, we're really good friends.
Harrison's great. I think he's so talented and he's really cute, and we had a really good time working together. So, the on-screen love scene, it wasn't my first, and it wasn't awkward to shoot at all, actually. No, it was really a lot easier than I expected it to be. And you know, Harrison was great, and Lance was great, and making us feel comfortable. And I think it's going to be a really just nice, simple, pretty shots.
That's my first love scene on screen, but it was really great the way Lance kind of filmed it, because it was more symbolic than just filming a love scene. And I guess when you see the film, you see what I mean by that.
I had a few scenes with Jennifer, which was exciting. I really, I admire her as an actress a lot. I just love her, and so to get to work with her even just a little bit was really fun.
I never worked with Jennifer Connelly before, and I was I was actually joking to my agent that I wouldn't even get seen for this film if I was an executive producer. You know, that there's such a high quality of talent in the picture.
I love Ed. I think he's a fabulous human being and really lovely, kind person and incredibly talented.
You know, we're a lot of good people. It's a really wonderful cast, and Lance has been dealing with everybody, I think, really well, and you know, crew seems to be getting along, you know, as far as I know.
I think Lance will definitely have a lot of success, and he's definitely a very talented and committed creator, writer, director, producer, and I think it's going to be amazing. During Milk, we were on the whole. He was on the whole film. He was basically like connected next to me. He was like always there for every scene. I mean, he's got a lot of tools, having done another feature and also Big Love television show was like a huge learning tool, and then our film. So he's pretty confident in his directing.
I was really impressed with and by Lance when I met him, and I think he's remarkably talented.
He's a very, very smart guy. Like when I finished Virginia, I kind of sat back and really thought about it. It wasn't just like, wow, it was a good script. It was really thought-provoking as well. And the way he works as a director, I mean, you see him doing these massive speeches at Washington, and he's so strong and bold about what he believes in. And then, you know, when he works, he's really quiet and respectful, and you know, never tells you to do anything. He just kind of, you know, if something isn't feeling the right way, he'll say, that feels a little bit too much like this, can you bring it back, or can you do more of that? And it's great. I mean, working like that, you're more working with a friend than with a boss.
This is TikTok Studio's second movie since we started the company about 3 years ago, and I work closely with Scott Brooks, who is my partner in the company, and as well as Jay Froberg, who is another partner in the company. And then we also work with Yardley Smith, who serves as an executive producer on the film. It's been a lot of fun working with Yardley because she's such a talented actress, but she's also such a great producer.
And I was so impressed by what they're doing about bringing filmmaking to Michigan that I remember saying to Hopwood, I want to be a part of your project I'll do anything. I'll even make coffee, and I don't know how to make coffee, but I'll learn to make coffee so that I can somehow support you in this initiative. I just thought, I'm so inspired by that by people who have an idea, and in such a short time, really, the three of them in 3 years got Michigan to grant this extraordinary rebate to filmmakers. So if you make the film in Michigan, then everything that you spend in Michigan, you get this 42% rebate. And Hopwood felt so strongly about bringing some sort of commerce back to his home state that he just wouldn't take no for an answer.
Well, the state of Michigan in 2007 passed a film incentive program that has quickly brought many films to the state to shoot here and quickly grown an industry. So we at TikTok have been very involved in that and are really happy to be able to bring production here.
I'm on the board of the Oregon Film Commission that has its own incentive, but it's not as great as the Michigan incentive. But yeah, it definitely attracts a lot of projects, and the ones I hear about, I think it's definitely, stirring up a lot of economic dollars, all the money that's coming in.
So we had to really look at the script, and Lance really wanted to come out to Michigan and see what it was like and see if it could double for Virginia. And he was really pleased with what he saw, and we were very happy to see that he believed the script could be shot here. There was one glaring thing that Michigan was missing, and that was the boardwalk. So we really had to work hard to figure out a way to make that fit. And the art department was quite amazing in coming up with a way to be able to double Michigan as a pier that we also shot some scenes of in Wildwood, New Jersey.
We had to have a big body of water to double as the ocean. We did do some shooting in New Jersey at the boardwalk there, but for the most part the scenes are here in Michigan. So that meant not Detroit, not Ann Arbor, but here in Holland.
The weather's been a major factor in this film. We never expected that at this time of the year. It's normally sort of beautiful late summer, early fall, and it's really hit sort of torrential downpours almost every single day. So it's been crazy to try to schedule around that and juggle it, but the cast has just been troopers, the crews have been amazing, and everybody's really put up with it.
No, shooting in Michigan in October when it has to be summer, it's a bit of difficulty because, it looks beautiful, but of course we're all in shorts and tank tops and little cotton summery t-shirts, and Jennifer's in these sheer dresses, and so we're all always huddled in our warm coats right before we're about to shoot, and then we have to take them off and act like we're not freezing to death.
The lake was 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and the safety guy said that you'll probably lose your breath if you went under. And I did. It was really cold. He was on the beach as well, so if I started facing downwards, they'd come in and get me out.
So, we set up TikTok to really help diversify its economy in a time that it really needs it. And Michigan needs some good news right now, and this is a really positive thing. It's put hundreds, if not thousands of people back to work. And we have Michigan residents that are new to the film industry that maybe have had factory jobs in the past or something come up to us on a daily basis and just say that they're having the times of their lives, and they're supporting their family at the same time, and it's really a dream to them, and it's been very rewarding for us as well, because not only do we get to do what we love to do in our backyards, but we really get to bring those dollars that are being spent to make these films to a state that we care very deeply about.
So I really hope that the film incentives will continue on, because it's so important, and that is why the film industry is coming here and what will help it stay. So I really hope that the state does not do anything to change that or to dissuade the industry from coming here in any way, because we love the state and would love to see more movies come here and employ more Michigan residents and pump more dollars into the economy. It's just a win-win positive for everybody.
So often in the stuff that I write, whether it's the TV shows or like this film, people say that. They say, oh, is this a drama or a comedy? Because I'm laughing. But the situations are dramatic. And, that's always my goal, is to write a drama, which I do think it's a drama, but write a drama so specifically, get the behavior specific, the relationships really specific. And I think when that happens, in the best of situations, when that happens, it feels real enough that you start to laugh because you recognize it, or it surprises you in how it reminds you of something in your life, perhaps, or a situation like that. So I think, I hope it's a drama that you laugh your way through, because I think that means that you're connecting.
I think it's got power and love, and there's all these characters are connected, and they all have love for each other in some way, but there's also a lot of power balances.
And there's a sense of quirkiness to it. It's a very meaningful script, and the characters each evolve themselves, and there's a serious undertone to it, but it's all very done in a sort of whimsical and quirky manner, and it really is. It engaged all of us all the way through.
It's not a conventional film, and none of the characters are conventional, and frankly, probably none of us really are, So I don't. It's kind of a mixed bag, like life,